When you're alone in a new place, a dark place, it's easy to let your imagination go wild. And this is the first mental checkpoint for a paranormal investigator. The thought that I tried to focus on most as I stood in the impossibly black vestibule of the asylum basement. The power of suggestion is, well, just that, powerful. I'm in the basement of a building that someone I don't know says is too scary to go into, so of course it's going to be scary. My mind makes it scary. And it's going to be a long night, and now's the time to get over it and find somewhere to place my camera. So I decided the best bet was to go straight because it requires the least amount of decision making, and it would likely be the most interesting choice of the three. So, putting on my mental horse blinders, I stepped away from the opening and further into the darkness. It felt different down here. Almost immediately after stepping into this new offshoot of the building, it was like the air thinned out. It was easier to breathe, easier to walk. It was almost as if I passed through a boundary, like at a haunted attraction where the actors can only go so far before they have to reset. Whatever I felt following me back there had reached its limit, and I was free. For now. But usually a haunted house like that, the situations get worse and worse. What would be waiting for me next? No, I can't think like that, I thought, as I continued down the hallway. I've done this dozens of times, and this is no different. The only thing that can truly help or hurt me is my mind. I honestly believed that back then. Just then I realized that the hall had changed. I had been so caught up in my failure of a pep talk that I completely failed to realize that I was somewhere very different from before. The first 20 yards that I had walked had no doors and no windows, just solid wall. But what caught my eye now was the opening on my right, much bigger than a doorway. I inched forward, unable to see what was in there. It looked like a small room with a chair. I couldn't quite tell, it was so dark, but was that a chair in the room facing away from me? The room looked small and massive at the same time. I knew in my mind where the walls were. They were no more than 8 feet apart in a perfect square, but my mind saw past that, as if the walls went forever. I got closer. Was there someone in the chair facing into the darkness? I didn't see someone, but I felt him there. I could feel how he was sitting with his head back and his feet out, almost like a sleeping security guard or a corpse placed in a chair. As I got closer still, I noticed, was it ropes or wires strung from the ceiling? My foot slipped as I started to lose my balance. Dropping the infrared camera in the hallway, I scrambled to grab onto something, anything, as I began to slip into what I now recognized as the open elevator shaft. Time slowed down. I don't know how, but it was as if each thought of mine was clear and complete in the 3 seconds that it took me to fall into the shaft. First I thought, if I fight this, I'm gonna get hurt. Commit to falling. And then I thought, grab the wire! And I reached out with both hands and gripped the metal coil, stopping my momentum for just a second. Look down! I flashed my headlamp to the floor, just 4 feet below, as the weight from my body caused the suspended elevator car to rumble and shake loose some debris which fell onto me. Let go. Eyes on the floor. Make your body limp. Embrace the impact. Watch your head. As I hit the floor, a shock of pain shot through my body from my heels straight up my spine. I fell back in a squat with my back against the wall. And for a moment, I was in the most excruciating pain of my entire life. But it faded fast with the distraction of debris hitting the floor around me. The coiled wires of the lift banged and clanged like the world's largest slinky. For a moment, I thought the car would fall, that my life would be over. I thought of all the people I didn't say I love you to enough. My unborn children, and my wife back at home, my parents. I thought of the eulogy they would give at my low-attendance funeral. He was a nice guy, but pretty fucking stupid to fall down an elevator shaft. I pushed past my comfort level and opened my eyes, looking up to the massive door from which I fell, which, to my utter surprise, was closed. Good evening, world, and thanks for watching my latest episode of Haunting Season. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you're a new viewer, welcome! I'm so happy to have you here. Take a look at some of my older videos. I have a lot of stories that I've told that I'm really proud of. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. Oh, before you go, last week I filmed 2 new horror films, and they're gonna be coming soon. But until then, stay safe.